In this short video, we are going to explain and demo why and how we manage business transactions in AppDynamics. Business transactions are central to AppDynamics application performance monitoring. They should directly align to the most critical business actions being performed on your application. Out of the box, AppDynamics will attempt to auto-discover business transactions. Some of the business transactions discovered might be useful and relate to meaningful application actions. However, depending on your application and how it has been developed, out of the box, we may also discover non-business critical business transactions. And if you do not manage or optimize the business transactions, we may consume limits we have set on business transactions and potentially miss out on monitoring business critical business transactions. The limits that we have on our AppDynamics business transactions are 200 business transactions per business application and 50 business transactions per agent. If traffic exceeds the 50 business transactions per agent limit, any additionally detected business transactions will be captured and aggregated into a virtual business transaction called all other traffic. There is one all other traffic business transaction for each tier on which the limit is reached. So we really want to ensure that we are not consuming our business transaction limits with non-business critical business transactions. Let's now show you what happens if you go into business transaction overflow and the steps we can take from there to manage your business transactions. This is a demo controller and we are using a demo application called AD Air. Let's now navigate to our first class business transaction list. These business transactions have been registered out of the box. Let's pay particular attention to all of the business transactions here, which start with /login. If I hover over it on the left on this icon, it'll let me know that it is a servlet, Java servlet. If I go to the right-hand side, I know that it originates from the Web API tier. Also, there are no performance-related metrics being reported for any of these business transactions, and a number of them have been registered. It is likely that we have reached our limit for the agent. Let's take a look and search for all other traffic. You can see a couple of them have been created, but we know that this particular business transaction was created within the Web API tier. Let's double click. As this is a virtual grouping of any business transactions which are registered after the point that reaches its limit, they get grouped. To view the business transactions from that group, go to View Traffic Details. Now, as you can see, here are all of the overflow business transactions that are being registered on that tier. The next question we need to address is, how are these business transactions registered out of the box? For this, we have out of the box rules. Let's take a look. Let's go to Configure, and this will take us into transaction detection and select rules. Because we know it is a Java servlet and it is being auto-discovered, let's go to Java Auto-Discovery Rule. Let's go to Rule Configuration and navigate down to Servlet. We can see that Discover Transactions Automatically for all servlet requests is selected. And the naming is identifying the first two segments of the URL. So that explains how we are capturing servlets, but not only servlets, login and the GUID. So how do we stop these out-of-the-box business transactions from occupying our limits in the first-class business transaction list? And for that, we have business transaction lockdown. Under transaction detection, select More. Within here, you will see business transaction lockdown. Select this and click on Save. It gives you a pop-up message. The message says that AppDynamics will continue to find and register business transactions. However, it will not apply them into the first-class business transaction list. Instead, when the business transaction is registered, it will enter into the all other traffic and tier from which it has been registered from. So let's click OK. Let's now clean up our first-class business transaction list. Let's go back into business transactions. And let's first take note /login, because we will need that later. Let's type up here. Okay, it is giving us all of the business transactions which have been registered in our first-class business transaction list of /login. You can shift, scroll, and select, and right-click, and delete these transactions. Okay, now this looks a bit cleaner. Because we have applied business transaction lockdown, from now on, when the business transaction /login/GUID is registered, it will automatically go to the all other traffic and tier from which it is being registered from. However, the login business transaction is a pretty critical business transaction to this application. Let's now create a custom match rule so we can capture the login business transaction. Let's now create a custom match rule for the login business transaction. Let's go to Configure and then select Add. We know that the login GUID business transaction was Java Servlet. So we're going to continue with Java Servlet. Select Next. Let's name this something meaningful. So we'll call it AD Login, AppDynamics Login. The priority runs from 0 to 100. Let's select 50. It's a pretty important business transaction. And let's select our scope, which is default. Let's now select rule configuration. We know that the URI which is coming in is /login. So let's select starts with /login. And let's save this. And this will generally take 2 to 3 minutes for the changes to be applied. So let's navigate back to our business transaction list. And because we are in business transaction lockdown, when this business transaction is registered, remember it won't automatically populate in the first class business transaction list. It should populate into all of the traffic, and this is the tier from which it is originating from. Let's go in here and click on View Traffic Details. After some time, the business transaction will get registered. You can search for the business transaction here. Put in AD. Okay, and it has found the custom match rule business transaction that we just created. Let's click on register. When we select register, it asks us if we want to add this business transaction to our first class business transaction list. So let's click OK and OK once more. This will also take 2 to 3 minutes for the business transaction to register to our first class business transaction list. Let's now navigate to our first class business transactions. You can see AD Login has registered as a first class business transaction. It is collecting performance related data. And now it is giving us something tangible and meaningful to work with in terms of identifying a business transaction that relates to a critical action being performed on the application. We hope you enjoyed this video and demo on business transaction management. If you have any questions surrounding the management of your business transactions, feel free to reach out to your customer success or account team at AppDynamics. Thanks for watching.